Welcome to a 2 versus 2 between uh, Tasmanian Devil as Cloakybots and Runaway Junior or something. Runaway J with jump outs and a very Greek nose. Gonna start spiders. I'll watch through this replay quickly. And you, Lawesome9, who requested this replay uh, with a recon commander and a jump out factory. So jump outs are fine on this map. It can be a little bit hard to contest the map with pyros, but you can also use puppies defensively, or even somewhat defensively, somewhat offensively, but it's hard to make cost against turrets and stuff. Moderators are also pretty well defended by puppies, but I don't see using puppy much in this game. So you start here. I think you should put your commander on high priority or your factory on low priority, so that your economy expansion will be prioritized. You can also jump if you have the micros too. It can build about 2 mixes and then jump, or 2 solvers and then jump. That's a small thing you can do. So after building 2 mixes, you can jump towards the next location. You can queue that in your queue with shift, and you're sending a pyro forward. Yeah, that's fine for raiding. If you surprise the enemy and get your factory, you might even be able to kill it. So you might want to put it on fight group, attack group. Yeah. But yeah, you're avoiding the enemy pyro, and yeah, you're trying to go there. It's a pretty good idea. If you get lucky, you can kill expanding cons or even the factory. This is kind of a win map. Early game, this low ground is not that high, 0.4. Minimum win is pretty good still. You get a Glader. Pyros are decent against Glaze, but generally need to repair them to make cost. Like, even if you kill them one by one, you're probably just about making cost. So, in general, you need to repair them against Glaze to make cost. I'm gonna talk about retreat zones later. This is a bit risky. Are you gonna get picket? I guess you get a picket, but that's not a good pick off. That's only 95 metal versus 220, so not really worth it. So yeah, if you try to go here instead, you might have gotten here before his pyro finished. So yeah, and you run into the Reaver here. Yeah, Reavers are pretty good against pyros. Yeah, you can see the selected player here, and your ally made this dig down. I'm not sure how much this costs, but probably a few on metal. And your ally is not going to build anything through this entire match. So that is going to be a problem for you, since you're going to basically have to build all the energy. One positive side effect is that you're going to be like getting most of the metal from him, so you're going to be spending most of the metal. But yeah, it's basically a 2v1 most of the game, where your AVeryGreekNose is especially expanding very cautiously and slowly with venoms. A pyro can easily win a 1 versus 1 of venom as long as it jumps out, wait a little bit for the paralyzed to wear off, and then goes in again, and the venom will easily burn down. But if you bunch up the pyros, they can easily lose to the venoms in equal numbers. Yeah. So meanwhile, yeah, your enemy is being pretty like he goes there and raid and kills expanding calm, and that's gonna AVeryGreekNose is gonna take forever to expand here. So this is the thing you have to realize: if you have a relatively new player, you should try to expand there yourself. If you're jumping in while being slow, that means you're just gonna lose your pyro. You could have just tried to kill the mexes instead, because yeah, if your pyro is slow, this is just going to lose to a Lotus turret or a pyro. So that's just advice. Don't. Yeah. If you get slow, that's a good thing about constables. You're going to lose the 1v1 against other pyro. Um, yeah. Yeah, either picketer can make pickets or lotus turrets. I think this is a bit too early for moderators. Lucky the Brigade got that. Like these glaives could easily overrun these moderators and kill them, but you're lucky and he retreats after losing a few glaives, so that's lucky for you that he didn't go in and kill your units. But yeah, this is too early for moderators, I'd say. If you want moderators, you need decent protection, so you can bring puppies with them or pyros. But yeah, in general, I think it's too early. If you go for a commander duel, it could be pretty effective. Like you get some shots off on the enemy commander or kill the lotus turrets with moderators, then you can go in with pyros on the commander. So that's decent. So in this situation, you should be realizing that your ally is really slow at expanding. So you should be sending back like units here and expanding here. Making a few defenses here is nice. Yes, you don't get overrun. But yeah, your ally is, they're not using the metals. That means you get more metal instead. But yeah, your team is still a bit behind there. Placeholder is, I mean, everything here can jump, so it's not the most ideal. Glaives can spread out, so technically it's hard to get value with a placeholder against what do you call it, against glaives. So yeah, here's the situation. If you just had a few puppies or a pyro in here, it would help you a lot, and maybe not get these moderators overrun. Yeah, so moderators, they're decent against Cloakbot. It's like they can sort of deal with Ronins, but they're likely to take damage. So in general, I want to recommend retreat. So if you get like a caretaker over here and have a retreat zone, you can see the retreat zone over here, and you can place it down, and you can set the moderates to retreat at like 65%. That's pretty good. Or you get the steaming the hose kit up. So that's pretty nice. So moderates are decent. They're probably going to take damage against Romans, probably a straight shot from swing. So it's nice if they go back and repair. Then they're most likely, then it's rare that they die. And as long as you watch out to getting overrun from Grace, yeah, it's a pretty good combo to go moderators against both jump bots and cloaky bots. Yeah, now you're getting those mixes. Yeah. But yeah, you want to be careful with your pyros. That's also an advantage. If you set them on 66% retreat, they're going to take some damage and then jump towards the retreat zone, which means they're quite likely to survive if you engage in like glaives or lotus turrets, even reavers to some degree. They might die before they get to distance. We're going to get the commander here. If you just stayed on it, you might get it. There's some mexes here that can strike your moderator fire. But yeah, you might get it's a bit. He's sending in some reinforcements there with his moderators. And even the shield is not to stop most of the placeholder shots. So yeah, it's decent if you want to keep your commander tracked. What weapon does he have? Bolt repair, cluster bomb. Yeah, that's not very effective against moderators. But yeah, the shield is effective against placeholders. You get the weapon triggers on the shield, and it isn't enough to reach the recon commander. You're almost getting the commander there. It's pretty close. Yeah, this area is pretty weak, so if you adjust a few, like 2 or 3 pyros, you could damage the invading here. And you're going to be really close to getting this commander. I guess placeholder are decent at soaking up moderate shots. But the commander just escapes. And in this situation, you probably want to get it a fighter walker. If these are in repair or not to retreat and go back to repair on this caretaker, then your moderators will deal with these combat. But now, yeah, you lose a low health moderator, and yeah, I think the trace will be about even. And then you also have a sniper. So if you get a firewalker, which your enemy has got now, you will counter moderators, you will counter slings, you will counter snipers if you just, it's a bit of luck factor, or if you shoot at the right place. Who guess who? But yeah, in general, firewalkers will counter. They will counter moderators, they will counter Ronins, they will counter phantoms, they will counter slings, and slowly burn down defenses like Stinger, and potentially even burn down units like Reavers. So really what you want here is, rather than a Juggernaut, you want Firewalkers. Firewalkers, I mean, they're good in this, really good in this situation. They're very like, they're good, they're like ultimate skirmishing artillery. That's the way you should view them, like they counter skirmishers very well. And light units. And Cloaky Bots is all about light units. So going for Juggernaut here, I don't like it. You can, it's like, it requires heavy repair if you want to make cost with it, because if it jumps in, it's going to drag in some units, and then it's going to pull them towards it. And if the units get pulled all the way to the Juggernaut, it's going to take a lot of damage. So you're going to need constant. You need to go in, kill a few units. Reavers are also going to do a lot of damage to the Juggernaut, and the sniper will do some damage. It's a good distraction for the snipers, but it's still going to need a lot of repairs. Going for shields can work against firewalkers, but you need to have them like, yeah, you can't build in the face of it, because the shields start with low, what do you call it, with low charge, and the firewalker will break through a shield if you have just one shield. So if you build it right in front of the firewalker, in this case it has two firewalkers, they're just gonna punch through it immediately. So you have to let it build it somewhat further back to let it be able to charge. And here you're just losing. Now you're losing attrition as well. You were ahead in attrition for a while there. Yeah. So you were ahead in attrition, but now you're falling behind. So yeah, the Firewalker is really taking its toll. You have no way to deal with these slings and the Phantom. So at this point, you're losing value. Even though it's still mostly a 2v1, if you look here at metal use, you can see that, yeah, you're using all of your metal that you use like 3 times your allies' metals. So yeah, it's really a 2 versus 1. At least you get the economy for it, getting this economy, because he's not properly using this. He also built no energy income, which is kind of bad. Tell him to build some energy. And at this point, yeah, you need a way to deal with these units, and you're finally starting to make firewalkers. It's probably a bit late at this point, because you need both enough units to prevent it from being overrun and not sniped. So, yeah, going for Scuttle is a bit risky. Like, his commander was really exposed before, so you could have got his commander earlier with Scuttle, but it's a long way to walk. On this map, I could even recommend making a forward factor, like here somewhere, building 1 or 2 caretakers for repairs, and then making factories a decent choice on this map. Going for air is a pretty good idea. Like, bombing his front line with napalm bomber is a good idea. But firewalkers could do the same thing, so I think that if just firewalker set can do the same thing as napalm bombers. Also, you're building this factory far away from your build power, so it's going to take forever to finish with just 5 build power. Like, 5 build power is nothing. Yeah. Like your ally is not fighting well. He's like not using all his army to run down his force, and yeah, it's just gonna get picked off. But yeah, I guess he's a bit newer than your opponents. So yeah, now you have the once the Juggernaut is on low health, you have to push away the enemy, and you're gonna jump away. But yeah, you don't have any build power here to help it, so it's gonna die soon, I think. You need like 2 or 3 caretakers to keep it alive and repaired, and yeah, I think just going Firewalk is better instead. Uh, you don't really need Juggernaut, I think, against anything in this composition. You can use it as a distraction, but it's an expensive distraction. Later in the game, if the enemy goes for some heavies, it can be a pretty good tool to pin down enemy heavy units like Cyclops or Scorpion or something, and keep them pinned while the rest of your army gets them. But yeah, I'd also recommend considering going Win. It's a bit harder to defend, but later in the game, Solaris is really good because it stays alive easily. But later in the game, you generally will want to connect your expansions with like wind lines so that you get higher income. If you have the room, you can even make wind on these hills. Like wind is even better than fusion reactors at all points, even if it's minimum wind. But at zero point 0.4 as the floor, it's a lot better than fusion reactors. So I recommend making winds on this map instead. If you want, you can even make them on the hill, and you can get. You just need to go up here, and you get maximum value. So this is a good position to just fill with wind generator. You can like drag a full square like this and have it connected to this mexes and wind connected to this mexes. Or if you want, you can make some pylons. But generally, it's better to use winds to connect or solars to connect uh, mexes rather than connecting with pylons. So yeah, but yeah, now you're really far behind, and I don't think there's any good units you can really that jump us can do against Firewalker. Like, there's no easy way to close the distance against moderators and Firewalkers. Like, Jacks, they're gonna be slowed by moderators. Juggernaut's gonna be slowed by moderators. Maybe you can pull in some moderates and get some kills, but then you need to repair the Juggernauts, so it's not ideal. Like, the Firewalkers are likely to kill your moderators, so it's probably a good idea to yeah, it's hard to like the thing is, if you get firewalkers and can protect them, it's hard to get them with anything. Air is an option. If you can surprise the enemy with air, you can get them. But moderators are also good against air. So, like, how many does it take? It takes 3 moderators to one shot the Phoenix. So, I think, yeah, yes, 3 of them to one shot. No, 4. It takes 4 moderators to one shot a Phoenix bomber. So, yeah, you're still gonna take losses. By going in here with 3, when the enemy isn't suspecting it, going here with 3 Phoenix bombers could get all of these Firewalkers, since there's nothing up on the hill here, so this would be a go direction. Then you could get all of these Firewalkers. So that could have been an option, right? If you have built the factory over here, then you might have had like 4 Phoenixes at this point. But yeah, you also need to be careful. Like moderators are good flex AAs. Warriors, if you try over Reavers, I mean, they're also good flex AA. If the Phantoms are not on reload, they're also quite good. They're also quite likely to hit the Phoenix. So yeah, it's not hard to engage this army. You need to like you can't fly straight over these Reavers. You'll take a lot of damage. And so is this enough? Like, yeah, you get a few kills, but then you take massive damage, and there's no moderators. There's not enough moderators behind this to get this really fully killed. And it's just, yeah, Juggernaut can be a good distraction, and it's gonna make cost over time, but yeah, it's unlikely to make cost in the first round. So yeah, but your ally hasn't been building right units, and yeah, they're about to fall as well. So. You can see that the only player here that made Wind was Runaway Junior, um, RunawayJ, and they also have some decent overdrive with solos. I would prefer to space them a bit more because, I mean, there's not really much point in making them these tight. And yeah, they even have so much advantage that they made you, but that's not going to get fired. A thing you can do, you can even consider, is to put a factor on retreat as well. It's pretty good. Like if you're making a combo of like firewalkers, moderators, and pyros, then you can put the whole factory in on retreat, and all the units will retreat automatically after they're done. But you also want to be careful because generally you don't want juggernauts on retreat automatically. Like if you set them on 65% retreat, then it's just going to take some damage. You want to go in further, and then it jumps back automatically, and it might jump on your own moderators or something. So you don't want to keep juggernauts on auto retreat. I'd say generally jacks can be nice. They're not going to do damage when you land, so you can put moderators on auto retreat. I mean jacks on auto retreat. It's pretty good. Um, yeah, but yeah, this was mostly a 2v1. If you look here at value kill, you did most of the damage here, and your ally didn't do much at all. If you look at metal used, at least your team got used most of the metal. Uh, but yeah, you can see here that you were starting to fall behind in the mid game, and the enemy started overrunning quite a bit more than you. Uh, yeah. So yeah, I really think you want out firewalkers earlier, especially against cloakybots. Like well protected firewalkers just counters those cloakybot factories, and puppies are decent at like if you have some early if you have some early moderators, you always want to make sure you have like lotus turrets, puppies, or pyros there to guard them against glaives. Uh, so it's a thing you can do. You can also use puppies to puppy goo. They will suck up, reclaim, and make more puppies. It can be decent, but you can also just reclaim that. As jump pods, generally you want some forward build power, which you have, like one or two caretakers, maybe three later in the game, four maybe even, and that can repair and keep this position, like keep all the units topped off and have automatic retreat. It's pretty good. Um, So you can see here you did a lot. You did a lot of damage early on, but as enemy firewalkers came out, you lost attrition and couldn't really keep your units alive. So yeah, more firewalkers in this situation. Anything else? Yeah, that's all the tips I have right now. Good luck and have